Ex-NFL reporter Michele Tafoya theorizes why bill to keep men out of women's sports failed in Senate. Tafoya told OutKick's Dakich she didn't think Democrats wanted to give Trump a win before his speech. Former NFL sideline reporter Michele Tafoya theorized Tuesday why Senate Democrats failed to break a filibuster and express support for keeping biological males out of women's and girls' sports. No Senate Democrat voted in favor of the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act to break a filibuster. Republicans needed 60 votes but only received 51 on the same day. In Minnesota, House lawmakers there voted against the Preserving Girls Sports Act. Each Democratic lawmaker in the state voted against the legislation. Tafoya gave her thoughts on the political pushback in an interview on OutKick's Don't Me with Dakich. Part of me is starting to think they didn't want to give the president a W the day before he is going to address Congress tonight. That joint session of Congress, Tafoya told Dakich. And so they all just, and seriously, politicians collude. And they all got together and said, we can't do this. We can't give him this win. So let's just vote no. And they stick together, man. They stick together. Democratic Minnesota State Representative Leach Kozlowski likened the Preserving Girls Sports Act to state-sanctioned bullying and genocide during a debate about the legislation Monday. According to OutKick, it's the same type of language Hannah Edwards, executive director of Transforming Families, used in a news release from Democratic Minnesota State Representative Lee Finke in January after Trump signed an executive order targeting federal funding of transgender healthcare. It's ridiculous, and I'm trying to get my head around, like, do people really buy into this, that this is some sort of trans genocide because boys shouldn't play in girls' sports? Tafoya said, it makes no sense. We have some pretty radical Democrats here in Minnesota. I mean, like, really radical. And so that's what we're dealing with. I don't know how that language is received by the average person. If I'm considered the average person, I think that person's a lunatic suggesting that. I don't know how these people keep getting elected.